Hello and welcome to Miniature Addiction Club. Today I'm making something a little different to my usual content and will be making a miniature diorama. The inspiration for this project came from this toy dinosaur I found at a garage sale. I knew right away when I saw it that I wanted to use it somehow in a Jurassic Park themed miniature. I'm a huge fan of the original movie as well as the book, and with the latest movie in the franchise being released in July, I thought it would be fun to make some sort of movie-based miniature. Which, spoiler alert, ended up being the Jurassic Park gates. Also, I couldn't not buy this dinosaur as it was only $5 and they usually retail for around $60 here in New Zealand, and your girl loves a bargain. To figure out the scale of the model, I had to work backwards from the T-Rex as her size was already predetermined. Now, T-Rexes come in a variety of sizes, but from my understanding, the one that played the role in Jurassic Park was around 5 meters high, which is great because this one is around 5 inches, which means I don't have to do too much maths. The next bit of research I had to do was to find out how tall the original gates in the movie were. And luckily someone else had already worked this out for me, and it turns out it's roughly 6 Ford Explorers high, which is about 10 meters. As 1 meter equals 1 inch for this project, I drew a template for the gates 10 inches by 11.5 inches wide. Before I start making the structure of the gates, I want to go ahead and give this girl a makeover. She is, after all, the main character of my movie diorama. She was giving brat green, and the dinosaurs in the original movie were definitely a bit more drab, and by drab I mean basically grey. So I started off with a drab grey base coat of acrylic paint. Then I repainted her mouth, tongue and gums in a lighter shade of pink. For her body, I mixed together some browns and greens with an acrylic blending medium and applied this in a thin transparent layer. This allowed the paint to transition nicely between colours, and the paint settled into the texture of the skin, creating a realistic effect. I thought I would need an airbrush to create the look I had in mind, but this ended up working perfectly. I used darker greens in the creases of the skin to add depth and slowly faded the colours into more of a yellow ochre. I'm basing this colour scheme off of the new movie Jurassic World Rebirth, and what I believe is the T-Rex in this picture from the trailer. I want to reference the first movie, but also give little nods throughout the project to the second and third movie as well as the new one, but I'm not going to try and reference any of the other Jurassic World movies, purely because there's not enough room in this diorama. I added a wash of some dark red to add some shading and depth to her mouth. And I should probably mention the medium I've been using throughout this process is the Atelier Clear Painting Medium, and I couldn't recommend it enough. I also went ahead and whitened her pearly whites before adding red to her gums. Then I painted her head, and you can really start to see her come alive. Then I mixed some transparent black and burnt umber for her stripes, which I dabbed on with my paintbrush and went over with a small sponge to remove any harsh edges. I also love how the paint medium gives her a slightly shiny wet look, which makes her reptile skin glow. I used a metallic gold paint for her beady reptilian eye, and once it had dried I used a small paint pen to add a pupil and a toothpick to add a white dot to each eye. And now it's time to build this little lady a suitable habitat. I cut the template I made for the gate into sections and cut each section out of layers of foam board. And now is probably as good as time as any to mention I have just started paid memberships through YouTube, where I will be uploading exclusive content from time to time, as well as providing printables and templates for any future projects, and giving members a whole lot of other exclusive perks too. So please go check that out if it sounds like something you'd be interested in. Getting back to the project, I ended up cutting 4 layers of 10mm foam board for the bottom tier of the pillar. I really want my gates to look just like the ones in the movie, so I'm going to add some lighting for dramatic effect. I'm using these fairy lights and need to make an area to hide the battery pack. I traced around the pack and cut out the foam board. Now that I've created an area to hide the battery pack, I can go ahead and glue the layers together, and to do this I'm using Aleene's tacky glue. I'm also cutting out an area that sits above the battery pack, which will give me access to the on-off switch. Then I sketched out roughly where I wanted the first fire sconce to be and poked a hole through the foam board. I covered each section of the wall in tacky glue and printer paper to try and cover up the ridges of the foam board. I also added some cardstock to the top of each area to cover up the exposed foam board and create a nice crisp edge. I made the rest of the section for this side of the gate the same way and threaded the lights through each of the holes and taped them in place. I'm not sure why I made it this way, and in hindsight it would have been a lot easier if they had all been connected to start with, but now I'm adding the backs to each of the 2 top sections. To connect the 2, I added some toothpicks to give it some internal support and glued the 2 parts together. The middle section is slightly narrower and thinner, so it creates a tiered effect when stacked on top of the bottom section. I did the same thing for the top section, but added a small channel on the side to run the lighting through to the other side of the gate. Then I added the arch section of the gate, which I carved out in the middle to accommodate the lighting wire. Once that had dried, I added a top piece and made the other half of the gates, only this time I made them as one solid section rather than 3 individual ones. Problem solving is a part of making miniatures that I really enjoy, and I wish I had thought of doing it like this earlier on in the project. Once again, I taped the lights in place and threaded them through the holes before gluing the front pieces down. Then I tentatively cut the excess lighting wire as I still had around 3 meters to spare. I don't recommend doing this, and I've read conflicting information, and it should probably only be done with extreme caution and thorough research. This is a disclaimer that I'm not a qualified electrician, and this may end up burning my house down. I tested the lights to see if they still worked before moving on to the next stage. I added top sections to the main pillars and clad the exterior in an exoskeleton of paper and cardstock to strengthen it and help smooth out the foam board. Next, I made some sconces from scraps of foam board and glued them in place. Then I used some lightweight spackle to cover the entire surface. This is supposed to look like stone, so you don't have to be too neat. In fact, the more texture, the better, and you can always sand it once it has dried. I carved some lines into the front to look like cracks and painted it with matte black gesso, mixed with some matte Mod Podge to help seal the surface and act as my base coat. I also added a little bottom section to the archway, which I had forgotten about earlier. Once the black had dried, I went in with some dark grey and dry brushed it over the surface. Then I went in with a light grey to really highlight all of the texture. Now, it wouldn't be the iconic Jurassic Park gates without the iconic Jurassic Park font, which I struggled to create by hand. So I dusted off my 3D printer manual and adapted a free file I found online to create these letters. This is only the third thing I've ever printed using my 3D printer, and I am amazed that it worked so well and came out perfectly. I painted the letters in red and yellow and glued them to the sign, using some removable tape as my guideline. Once the glue had dried, I decided to add a wash of brown paint to age them a little bit and help disguise my terrible paint job. And you know, I'm all about that base, and for this one I used a round 18mm MDF panel and glued 2 layers of 10mm foam board to it and used a craft knife to round off the edges. I drew a centre line and painted this black, as this is going to be the track for the self-driving cars. For the track itself, I'm using this aluminium tile trim that my boyfriend had lying around. I glued the 2 track pieces down, leaving a small gap between them. Once it had dried, I added some more foam board on top to secure the tracks in place and help build up the level of the floor. I rounded the edges of this layer as well and covered the exposed edge in a layer of spackle. John Hammond might have spared no expense in creating the park, but the roads are still just a dirt track. So to make a dirt track, I used some sheets of cork and tore along the outside edge. Then I gave the base a coat of dark brown acrylic paint. I used tacky glue to attach the gates to the base, using toothpicks to hold them in place. And that brings us to the end of the first video in this two-part series. Join me next time where I will be adding terrain and handmade plants, as well as adding some more movie references. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss the next episode. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.